Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, you know, a day or two ago, I spoke about the Justice Department dropping all charges against General Flynn. And I just made a statement relative to what I understood that to represent. Today I ran across a statement that made me focus even a little deeper. And I would love to just share with you just what that was all about. You see, ladies and gentlemen, we have something that is so relevant in what's going on. We might not see it, we might not understand it as such, but truly, indeed, it is relevant. What it does, it exposes to those that's looking to find truth. It reveals, and so it kind of pushes you to want to be happy, thrilled, and you want to tell somebody. Yeah, you want to tell somebody. At least I do. What it means to me, ladies and gentlemen, is can you imagine years and years and years and years and years and years of assuming something to be proper, accepting it as proper, observing the results, questioning, but never ever accepting the fact that something we're overlooking, something that we think is right, that really isn't. Thinking about it, what we have with Donald Trump, President of the United States. Before he became a president, his records had been made known. Everybody knew who Donald Trump was and he is. Donald Trump was a bully, a crook, but nevertheless, to be honest, he was no more of a crook than other people who seek after money. He just hung around with a gang that others didn't want to be associated with. He had his little crew, and his crew didn't have any respect. You know, the other crew at least wanted to put up an image of having some kind of respect. But Donald Trump didn't have any respect, so they didn't want to be hanging on him. They said he was crazy. They called him the devil. And then he comes out want to be president of the United States. You know good and well, if I would run for president of the United States and people were serious about me, every agency in the world would be investigating me. Who I know, who I've been dealing with, what I've said, who did I say it to, who did I associate with that have been associating with others. The whole works would have been going on. And Trump, you know, dead blasted well. Who is this crook that want to get in office? We're going to check him out. We don't believe him. We know he's a crook. And so you check him out. You check out the people who he's associated himself with. You find out that they're crooks too. And then you just bring this stuff before the people. And you say, hey, these guys are crooks. And the people say, what? And then you take some action. Now the crook of them all has been getting away with everything. Everybody else getting punished, but this crook, the head crook, has proven to be above the law. Why? Because he challenged the authenticity of what people had accepted as a normal reality. Now, his truth was that, yes, this is a normal reality. The bad thing about it is that he had no intention of trying to make it a better reality. He wanted to take advantage of it. That's what dictators do. They challenge the system. They have what the people have been led to believe It's all you need. Be white and get some money and be crazy, do some crazy stuff, and be able to get away with it. Billions of dollars will help folks get away with a lot of stuff. And to know this, the peons under the $1 billion folks don't know these kinds of things. And so when the ones above the $1 billion thing do it and get away with it, it's just kind of acceptable for the peons because they don't understand that kind of stuff. But anyway, it happens. And so now he gets into office. He promised people who stood with him he was going to try to do what he could to protect them. That's what they do. And people who turned against him, he will ignore them. It didn't matter about them dealing with the truth. He said, who's your buddy? The truth or me? The truth got Michael Cohen sitting up in prison. Lying and sticking up for liars gave Michael Flynn a key to a path to freedom, back out in the society. And masses of people, a great portion of them at least, who don't have a mind of their own, have been led to respond to what others say is something that requires responding. And they have no good judgment at all. Oh, now somebody told you a different story. You believe it just because they told you. And you were thinking that anyway. Now somebody said this, oh yeah, now put the other people in jail. Put the other people in jail. Where was your mind at? Where was your mind at? Well, these kinds of things happen. But they got to be fixed. That's why you mention them. And how you fix them? By doing the right things. As I mentioned the other day, it doesn't matter now whether Flynn actually did these things or not. Why? Because if he did it, it didn't profit us anything. Putting him in jail didn't profit us anything. And if he didn't do it, it doesn't profit us anything. And if other people were put in jail because of it, it wouldn't profit us anything. We haven't learned a dead blasted thing. But there was a message. And what was the message? The message was the failure of the system. The system permitted this all to go on. And it also made it obvious why it was able to go on. Because of the split mentality of the people. People supporting each end. So all you had to do was stand by the opposite. Fire everybody that you got power to fire. And temporarily place somebody in these positions that cater to you. Even in the man, I hate to say it, but the Department of Justice and the Supreme Court. But that's the way it's done. And there's no way we shouldn't be surprised when it is done. It happens all around the world, and eventually it had to happen here. The situation is this, however, is that people who have a relationship with God are going to stand by the moral principles of God. They don't give a heck who's running office. And right now, we don't have anybody out there doing that, because if they did, you'd know about them. They'd be standing up raising holy hell about what's going on in this world. They'd be raising holy hell about what's going on in this country. And they wouldn't mind dying. See, to them, now this is a big secret that nobody ever told you. Can't nobody tell you because they never knew. But let me tell you what you didn't know. Here's the big old secret. Yes, when you have a relationship with God, when you know God is real, when this thing is not a game to you, and you stand to represent what is of God, that's when you really find out. That's when you really find out that this world don't give a damn about God. All of it is plain D talk. When you really get down to the real nitty gritty. And now you can only know this when your eyes open. You couldn't see this when your eyes were closed. You were right one of the ones up there thinking you had it going on. You had nothing going on. When your eyes open, you find out, oh, I didn't have nothing going on. And everybody else who I haven't opened up, they thinking they got everything going on. And they got nothing going on. So, the ones whose eyes have been opened, they know that they're in the wrong place. They know now that they are in the wrong place. And the whole purpose here in this place was to learn the difference between the wrong place and the right place. And since you know darn well that this is the wrong place, then the next place just might be the right place, especially if it's because your eyes are open. Then you welcome death. You have no problem with it. And this is the only thing that makes the devil mad, because this is the only death that has some power. The people who gladly give up their lives. You know, I was thinking about this, and I thought about the Jews. Now, I don't know if that story is true, but the way it was presented to us, they made it seem like the Jews were so sad going to their deaths. And I can imagine that they could, or that were. I'm sure I would have been, especially yesterday. But what if they had that different mindset? What if they had that relationship with God, that they were glad to get out of this hell? And if they had to be burned up to get out of this hell, so be it. If they had to get their heads cut off to get out of this hell, so be it. Whatever it was required to get out of this world, so be it. Anyway, I don't know if we waited too late or not. I do know that the challenge is great, and it requires some mighty, mighty, powerful spirit alive in individuals to overcome this death. Because Attorney General Barr says history is written by the winners. So, can you imagine living this truth and then knowing what the winners are doing and knowing the story that they're going to tell and the generations to come are going to have that story? This didn't just start with Trump. This has been happening all back from the beginning of time. So you wake up and you'll see this. You won't be going crazy trying to live. You'll be going crazy trying to be eligible to graduate out of this hell. So ladies and gentlemen, I guess that's what they mean to say, cry when a person is born, rejoice when they pass on. But you got to be passing on with a high, excited spirit about it. Next time, Eddie Marcus saying goodbye.